If you're a developer for Google Play, you know that amazing feeling of hitting publish. But you also know that it's an ecosystem with a, let's say, complex set of rules. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on those policies and the whole enforcement process. We'll break down what really happens when you get one of those emails from Google.
You know the one I'm talking about. It's the notification that makes your stomach drop. An email from the Google Play team about a policy violation. All of a sudden, your app's entire future feels like it's on the line. What does it mean? What are you supposed to do next? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to walk through that journey right now.
Okay, first things first. You've got to understand that Google Play isn't just a big app store. It's an ecosystem. And according to Google's own rules, that entire system is built on one simple but incredibly powerful idea: user trust. Seriously, every single rule we're about to talk about is designed to protect that trust.
And here's the thing you have to get your head around. These policies are incredibly broad. We're not just talking about the code in your app. Nope, they cover your store listing, your developer name, the ads you show, even the third-party libraries or SDKs that you use. The bottom line from Google is crystal clear. You are responsible for everything. And believe me, the consequences for getting it wrong can be severe.
So, how in the world does Google keep an eye on millions of apps? Well, it's not some single person in a cubicle or just one big scary bot. It's a whole complex, multi-layered system that's designed to automatically spot problems and then, when it needs to, flag them for a real human to review.
The first line of defense, and probably the system you'll hear about most, is Google Play Protect. Just think of it like Google's own built-in automated security guard for the whole platform. It's always on, always working in the background, trying to keep everyone and everything safe.
And you can see how it works right here. Play Protect scans apps when you install them, it scans your device from time to time, and it can take action. Everything from just sending a warning all the way to automatically disabling or even removing a bad app right off a user's phone, no questions asked. It's a really powerful automated shield.
But, and this is important, it's not just about the bots. Google is very clear that trained human analysts are a huge part of this process. They're the ones who step in to look at the tricky stuff, the apps where context really matters, making those nuanced calls that an algorithm might just get wrong. And then whatever they find gets fed back into the system to make the automated parts even smarter.
All right, so what happens when a violation is actually found? The best way to think about it is like an enforcement ladder. Each rung you go up represents a more serious action with bigger and bigger consequences for both your app and your developer account.
So, down at the bottom of the ladder, we've got rejection and removal. A rejection is basically a stop sign for a new update you're trying to publish. It's annoying, but your current live app is totally fine. A removal, though, is more serious. That means your live app gets pulled from the store. Now, a single removal won't tank your account right away, but if it becomes a pattern, yeah, that's not good.
Okay, now we're taking a big step up the ladder. Let's look at the difference between a removal and a suspension. With a removal, you can fix your app and try again. A suspension is a whole different ballgame. This is for really serious or repeated problems. You can't reuse that app's package name ever again. And here's the real kicker. A suspension counts as a strike against your account. This is where things start to get really dangerous.
And right at the very top of that ladder, account termination. This is it. Game over. All of your apps are removed, your account gets shut down, and as this quote straight from the policy says, any new account you try to open will just get terminated too. There is no coming back from this one.
So let's just put it all together. This table is basically your cheat sheet for that whole enforcement ladder. You can see it all at a glance. It goes from a simple rejection with no real account impact all the way down to termination, which, well, closes the door for good. If you're going to remember one thing, this is probably it.
I know, after looking at that ladder, things can feel a little grim. But look, getting an enforcement notice doesn't always have to be the end of the road. There is a path forward, especially if you think a mistake was made.
And that path is the appeals process. The steps are pretty straightforward. First, take a breath and actually read the email carefully. Understand the specific policy they say you violated. Then, if you've looked at it and you truly believe the decision was a mistake, you can follow the instructions to submit an appeal. If Google agrees there was an error, they'll reinstate your app.
Of course, the absolute best way to deal with a violation is to not get one in the first place, right? So for this last part, let's talk about the proactive things you can do to stay in good standing right from day one.
It all starts with the basics of your account, just getting your house in order. That means finishing all the verifications and picking the right account type. For example, if you're an organization, you're going to need a DUNS number, which is just a unique code that helps Google verify you're a real business. Keeping all your info current isn't optional, it's essential. Think of this as the foundation for a healthy developer account.
And here's one that can really trip developers up, the dormant account policy. If your account just sits there inactive for a long time, you're not publishing anything, not updating apps, Google might actually close it to prevent it from being abused later. The message here is pretty clear. Google Play is for active developers.
You know, when you think about it, with all the automated systems, human reviewers, hundreds of pages of policy, it all comes down to this number, 1. Because at the end of the day, there is only one person who's ultimately responsible for making sure your app and your account are totally compliant with all the rules. And that person is you.
So, what's the big takeaway here? On the one hand, you've got this incredibly powerful system that's designed to protect millions of users from malware and bad actors. It's a necessary shield. But on the other hand, for a developer who's just trying to do the right thing, it can feel like this complex and sometimes totally unforgiving maze. The reality? It's probably both. And learning to navigate that maze is just the price of admission to the biggest app ecosystem in the world.